Alright guys, how's it going? Awesome Soul here, and today we have some pretty cool news. We are actually getting a miniature shotgun. The Ion Destabilizer is what this thing is going to be called. Basically, from what we know of it, it is just a scaled down version of the Ion Distorter. Chances are it will not end at that. Now, there are a few other things that were talked about in this news post, but I guess I'll talk about them real quick. I guess the other big one is that we are actually increasing the garage bay size to 100, finally, which is super awesome. We are also getting smart weapons for what it seems like only a select few weapons at the start, but then the rest of them will follow, which will be nice. And I think there's one more, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But yes, what I definitely do want to talk about is the Ion, the new mini one. So this kind of opens up a world of possibility, because something that I tweeted about, or in response to that one, was it would be really cool to see other weapons get this quote-unquote mini treatment. Now, the main one that I would like to see is the lock-on missile launcher. Possibly making it into something fairly different, because at least when it comes to this small Ion, I hope it is fairly different, like how the sizes of the lasers offer a different variety of playstyles. Hopefully the smaller Ions will maybe have longer range but deal less damage. Or maybe they have a tighter spread, but obviously because they're smaller you would need more of them to have the proper nominal fire rate. Something like that I definitely see happening. Because I don't think it's just going to be a scaled down version. That would be too boring. But yeah, the possibility of this going on to other weapon types is pretty high, at least in my opinion. The main one would be the lock-on missile launcher. I really hope we get something like that. And some people have said that they want a stationary missile pod, and I kind of agree with that. It definitely feels like a very fighter jet thing to have, and I know a lot of people want their proper fighter jets. I should probably not be in the hornet's nest. Let's back up. Luckily, I have the bulk to do so. Not necessarily the damage-dealing potential. I don't really have any kills yet. Oh well. But yes, back on track. Oh boy. Lots of enemies trying to shoot my face off. Okay, now back on track. The missile launcher. I actually wouldn't mind something that still rotates. Possibly. But then I definitely do want the stationary missile pods. Just have like a battle cruiser and like hatches flip up and they fly directly straight up and home back down to the earth onto their target, or possibly continue up onto the air target. But chances are the thing that will happen if we ever do see a mini version of the missile pod is I can foresee it having 3 missiles inside instead of the 6. Maybe have a lower fire rate, but they maybe move faster but deal less damage. So people are less likely to be able to hide, or you won't be able to hide as easily behind targets, because you know, you got the lock-on warning, and then you have to worry about the missile travel time. So, if you're being oh, lovely, thanks to the shield. So if you're being targeted by the missile launcher, you know it's coming. You can have the warning, and then there we go, finally got the kill. So you got the warning, And then on top of that, you can see these huge, very obvious projectiles heading your way. So you have a lot of time to hide. And I wouldn't mind having a faster travel time, lower damage one, but I mean, the damage of the missiles are pitiful as they are. So I don't know. I think due to the whole rework of the armor, they kind of do need a damage increase or a slight rework, because they're annoying, but they're very rarely going to score you a kill. I couldn't really do much there. I was surrounded. So, yeah, another option that I could see them taking is sort of, I guess this would be more so of a entirely new weapon, really. Ooh, another kill. Lovely. So, something else I would like to see out of a possible quote-unquote mini lock-on missile pod would be swarmer missiles. So they would possibly have a longer lock-on time. So instead of the 3 seconds to lock on, is it 3 seconds or is it 1.5 seconds? I can't remember. Anyways, whatever time it currently is for the big missile pod, it would have an increase to that. However, it would fire a lot of really small missiles, but they have decent tracking to them. So not quite as good. So not every missile is going to hit, but if every missile hits, it will deal a considerable amount of damage. Let's see if I can't score a kill. Oh, that reminded me. I was about to say, I can't wait for hovers to have strafing. And then I remembered. The thing I forgot in the beginning of the video was the fact that hovers and thrusters are getting strafing. Yes, don't you just love live commentaries where I bounce back and forth between topics? So anyways, going back to the whole missile thing, something like that, a swarmer missile, would be something very nice, and a welcome change to what would essentially be a smaller version. It would be vastly different, however. It'd probably be more along the lines of its own weapon type, rather than just a change in size like how, the lasers are. Then again, though, the Mega Laser is fairly a big departure. It essentially becomes a pseudo sniper rifle with the accuracy and damage it gets. But anyways, going on to the other weapon. I guess really the only other weapon is flak. And a few people are probably wanting this, and I have seen some people bring up that, I would like to see flak. I personally don't see this ever happening. Mainly because what would a smaller flak be? A smaller flak would be a lighter, less fire rate, less damage version of the current flak. And why would we want that? Why would we want something lighter and easier to mount on an aircraft? So that would then basically be a requirement if you are an aircraft for dogfighting. Now, admittedly, it would be kind of interesting to have, like, big sort of artillery cannons. Think like, like a heavy spaceship type thing. It would be kind of cool, but pretty unbalanced, because if you didn't have this, you would be kind of screwed in an air combat, and that would basically mean that if you were a flyer, you were pretty much required to have these. So for that reason, I definitely do not see the flak ever getting a smaller version. What would be kind of interesting, though, because if you didn't quite see, I guess I'll show the picture again, the smaller Ion has the same mounting method, it would seem anyways, as the Protoseeker. So it has a 1x1 cube at the bottom of it. So if that's the case, it's probably going to be in the range of, rather, CPU range of the Proto-Seeker. But anyways, getting back on track, if that's the case, and it becomes sort of Proto-Seeker sized, will we ever see a size increase for the Proto-Seeker? That's probably going to be very far off, because they still need to rework the Proto-Seeker into something that actually fits well into the game. Because I'm sure you're aware, they've nerfed it into the ground. Temporarily-ish? Just due to the fact that, well, it didn't go too well when they updated a few other systems in the game. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think of this whole mini ion distorter. Or I guess the ion destabilizer is the name of it. But I'm sure a lot of people will just call it the mini ion or the mini ion distorter. Anyways, let me know what you think of a possible mini aeroflak or mini missile launcher or a bigger Proto-Seeker. Let me know down below. Anyways, I've been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.